Hey, what's up YouTube? In this video, I'll be showing you how to make this awesome big suburban house. Here are the houses from all of the angles that you may want to have a look at it from. As you can see, it's a pretty interesting design. It's quite a big house, and it's a very unique take on a suburban style house. I hope that you really do enjoy it. It's got a rather large interior space. It's got a ground floor, a second floor. You can even add a loft if you like. And on top of that, it's got a really large cellar area as well. We have a double garage. We even have this little car in the front drive in front of one of the garages. We have this garden underneath the balconies. There's an extensive porch and a few separate balconies around the house. I don't know what more you can ask for. If you enjoyed this tutorial, please do remember to hit that like button. I'd really appreciate it. If you enjoy the content, please do subscribe for more, and please do remember that like. Without any further ado, let me show you how to make this thing. It's not as complicated as it might seem. So if you want to make it, here's what you'll need. Grab yourself some pillar quartz blocks, some block of quartz, some quartz stairs, some quartz slabs, some stone brick stairs, some terracotta, wooden trapdoors, white stained glass paint, and some birch wood blanks. We do also need all of the other materials that you can see in my inventory right now. If you want to decorate the outside, you don't need as many materials, but if you do want to decorate the outside, you do need those materials, and if you want to make the car, we need even more than we have now. But these will get you most of the way. So once you have all of this stuff, and once you've figured out where you want to make it, I'm going to be making mine right here. I haven't given you a floor plan for this house. This is because the house is kind of as big as you like. And if you want to add driveways and garages and stuff, then that's up to you, but it's not required. This house is so malleable that I didn't really want to lay out a floor plan on the ground. It takes up a lot of space. So we're going to start off with a row of 10 pillar quartz block coming up from the ground. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now, once we have this row of 10, we want to leaving a gap of 3 going right. So leaving a gap of 3 in the ground. You can use a block to mark it out if you like. We want to place another row of 10 pillar quartz block. That's once again coming up from the ground, like that. Then, once again, we now want to leave a gap of 5. So this is going to be a gap of 5. Now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to, coming up from the ground, place 3 terracotta. 1, 2, 3. Followed by 7 pillar quartz. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This will make it even with the rest of the rows. We want to leave a gap of 5 again, going right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we want to repeat the row that we've just done. So that's 3 terracotta. 1, 2, 3. Followed by 7 pillar quartz block. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. As a matter of fact, that actually isn't a row of 7, funnily enough. It's a row of 6. Place a block of quartz on top of that block. This will become relevant later. You know what, let's do it now. This block of quartz that we replace the top block with, we want to go up on top of it by 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. We then want to go right by 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We then want to go down by 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. We then want to go down by 6 with the pillar quartz block. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then we want to place a row of 3 terracotta connecting down to the ground. So, just so you guys are keeping up, this is what we want to have so far. Okay? All of this will come into play a little more later. So, once you've got that sorted out, we're now going to move on to the right-hand side of the house. This is going to be built systematically, kind of like just shuffling our way around the house. So, what do we want to do? Well, we want to take this row of basically pillar quartz block and terracotta, and we want to replicate this row 4 more times, and we want to do it by leaving gaps of 5 in the ground. So that'll be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, coming backwards, and then we want to place 3 terracotta. 1, 2, 3. Then 6 pillar quartz block. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then 6 block of quartz. Actually, it's 5 block of quartz, right? It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Basically, you want to match the row that we have just in front of it to the left. We want to do this in total 3 more times. So this is going to be a gap of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then terracotta. Then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Terracotta. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 terracotta, and we want to copy that row. So the way that I'm going to do this is I'm simply just going to I'm going to place all the terracotta, and then I'm going to copy the row of pillar quartz block that I have just to the left of me. I'm just going to copy it by looking at the previous row, and now I'm going to do the same thing with the block of quartz, and this is going to provide us with the frame of the house. And basically we want to end up with something that should look like this. So as you can see, we have the same thing 5 times. If you like, you can also connect the top of these together using block of quartz if you so choose. You don't have to, but you can if you want, like this. Let's move on to the back of the house. So the back of the house, now this side, I'm sure you guys can figure out why this is the back of the house. Let me just adjust my plans here so I can see. Okay, so on the back of the house here, what we're going to do is we're going to take this top block of quartz here. We're going to extend it to the right by 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're going to connect it to the front of the house because this particular part of the house does connect together. It's a very long row. It's actually one of the very few parts of the house that connects all the way to the front, all the way to the back. Well, once it's connected together, we want to take this 6th block and we want to go down from it by 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we want to do a row of, I do believe it's 6 pillar quartz block. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then a row of 3 terracotta coming all the way down to the ground. So as you can see, once again, same thing that we've had all the way around. Now, let's connect things together a little bit more. Use the quartz. Actually, no. You know what? We'll do that later because we can do it from the entire build. So what we now want to do is all the way down at the base of the build where we have the row of terracotta, we want to place, going right of this row of terracotta, we want to leave a gap of 5 again. So use a block if you like. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like this. And we then want to place ourselves a row of 10 pillar quartz block coming directly up from the ground. So that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then we're going to leave a gap of 5 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we're going to do another row of 10 pillar quartz block coming from the ground. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Like this. And then we are going to now leave a gap of 3, guys. And you know what? We could actually be using a terracotta to place gaps instead. And it will be a bit more logical, as you'll be able to see later. But we want to leave a gap of 3 this time. 1, 2, 3. And then we want the same row of 10 pillar quartz block. Why am I placing birch? Coming all the way up from the ground like this. So you'll end up on the back of the house with something that should look like this, right? And that is perfect. That's what we want to have so far. Now, moving on to the left-hand side of the house, the only part of the house that we've not really messed with, we want to once again create some patterns. So in the ground, using terracotta, we want to, moving forward from the row of pillar quartz block, we want to leave a gap of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then place a pillar quartz block. Gap of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pillar quartz. Gap of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pillar quartz. And then place 5 terracotta. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And surprisingly enough, we'll end up all the way at the front of the house. We want to take every single row of pillar quartz block, and I do mean every single one of them, and we want to raise them up until they are as high as the pillar quartz blocks surrounding them. So you guys can see exactly what I'm up to here. You want to raise them all up like this until they are as high as the pillar quartz blocks surrounding them. Wonderful. So once that's been done, we can now move on to actually adding a bit of detail, adding some further foundational properties to this house. Is that a word? I don't know, but it is now. So we have to take out our old pal, the quartz slab, and we've got to do this actually going all the way around the entirety of the house. Right, so on the left-hand side of the house, you have rows of terracotta. Add 2 additional rows of terracotta on top of the pre-existing terracotta. So it's exactly how it sounds. On top of the terracotta that you have, add 2 additional rows on top of the pre-existing terracotta like this. So you now have 3 rows in total. Leave half a row's gap and place a row of quartz slab above the terracotta. So leave half a row's gap, this will make sense later, and place an entire row of quartz slab. Now, this is important because we can use this quartz slab and we can actually place quartz slab going all the way around the entire base of the house. Yeah, that's right. We can go all the way around the base of the house and we can place ourselves some quartz slabs. So, I mean, I don't know how better else to say it. We want to go all the way around the house and we want to place quartz slab kind of going all the way around like that. You guys are starting to understand what I'm talking about. There we go. Perfect. Now, let us add a little bit of detail to this. So, actually, first of all, this is going to be so boring. Fill in the entire top of what you've just basically made. So go do this. Go all the way around the inside of the quartz slabs using birch wood plank blocks. It's important that we use planks rather than slabs. This will give us a cool effect, a depth effect, once we have went all the way around the inside of this, and you'll see a cool separation between the terracotta like this and what you've basically just placed in the birch. I'm going to fill the entire top of this in simply because it makes it easier later on, so I would suggest doing the same. This is a lengthy process. This takes quite a while, but once this is done, we only have to do it. We actually have to do it kind of again later. Unfortunately, we do have to kind of do this again later, although the area will be significantly smaller, really. But once we've added this foundation of birch, you'll be able to see where the actual, like, the ground floor level of the house is, where the actual porch is. Like, this is a foundation that we are laying down. And once this has been done, we can add some details going all the way around. So, like, we can add in the garages, we can add in a staircase or two, probably just one staircase, and we can add some, like I said, some further details around the house. So, yeah, I'm just filling this in casually. I don't know really else what to say other than to keep repeating myself, other than the fact that we are filling this in. Once this has been filled in, the tedious and horrible task that this is, I do believe that we've got still a fair amount to go. Once this has been done, we are in a better position to fill in the rest of the house. So honestly, these are the parts of the videos that I really should simply speed up instead of just randomly talking over. But you know what? I think I'm almost done with this part, so I'm a little bit late to the party here. But Yeah, there we go. We've just got one more after this. It's fine. I'm sure that you guys don't mind. Of course you don't. You guys are fine. You don't want to. You're probably not fine. Sorry for talking randomly, but you know what? We've got it all down. We've got it all down. There we go. So that's what we want to have so far, right? That is the house. This is the front of the house. We've got rows of birch wood here. I'm going to destroy the rows of birch wood because they were only to help us space out blocks. The left-hand side here, where we have the gap of 3, this is going to be where I'm going to put in some stairs. So I'm going to knock out the layer of quartz slab, and I'm going to place some stairs in here instead, quartz stairs. And I'm going to create a staircase that flows down naturally to the ground. So in about 4 rows of stairs, you should be able to come all the way down to the ground like that, yeah? We want to place some terracotta left and right of the stairs, just basically enough to cover up the stairs, because we don't really want to see inside of the stairs, or at least I don't know about you guys. You can even do something a bit fancy with them if you want. You can kind of steeple them a bit like this if you like. Do as you wish to the stairs. We have a couple of garages in the front of the house if you want them to be garages. We have this one and this one, these two parts next to the stairs. If you place a white concrete in the very center of the empty space at the base of the garages, and if you, actually we're going to do this one row behind, so I'm going to place the, we're going to place the block one row inside, and then what we're going to do is we're basically just going to place rows of quartz stairs around the blocks and stacking on top. These will look like garage doors, like this. That's great. And we're going to place birch fence in front of the white concrete blocks. That looks as though they actually can be opened now. And if you want, you can place some like block of quartz inside of the terracotta, inside of the double doors, and you won't be able to see any gaps, and it will look quite nice. Once that's been done, we can now move on to this next bit. So there's some railings around the house. We've got a lot of railings. Let me show you where they go. So on the front of the house, to the right of the stairs, we want to place on top of the quartz slabs, we want to place a row of birchwood fence. Just above where the garages are, coming all the way across to the right. On the entire right hand, I do want to make sure that I'm getting this right. Yeah, coming up the entire right hand side of the build, we also want to have some birchwood fence. Also, funnily enough, if we destroy the birchwood planks that we have at the bottom of this particular side of the house, we also want to have birchwood fence running all the way up here too. This is kind of like an outdoor garden area. You can expand upon this later. You can even connect it together at the back if you so choose as well. And what I also want to do is I want to have the row of birchwood fence come around the back of the house, and it wants to come all the way around the back on top of the actual quartz slabs until we reach this part of the house. So this area on the left hand side of the house, we are not going to place fence. Anyway, on top of all of the fence that you've placed, place quartz slab. So, oh my god. On top of every single fence, place quartz slab. I'm not good at this, am I? We want to place it. It makes it look fancier. If you want, you can leave it off of the birchwood fence at the base of the house, where the garden is. You can leave it off of there, if you so choose. But everywhere else, it actually looks quite nice, and it really it sort of reinforces the area. If that makes sense, it might not. Don't worry about it. I use weird words sometimes, but that's what it kind of wants to look like. It's looking quite nice like that. Well, once that's been sorted out, we can work on the house a bit more. So we're going to create some more boundaries. On the right hand side of the house, you'll notice that we have the big quartz area. We want to take the pillar quartz blocks underneath the big quartz area, and we want to connect them together using quartz slabs. So you want to take the pillar quartz blocks that connect to the actual quartz blocks, and we want to place a layer of quartz slab connecting the tops of these together. It's as simple as that, in kind of a rectangular shape like this. So this is actually going to section off a particular area of the build. But what we do want to do is we want to continue the quartz slab area, and we want to expand it, coming all the way around the top of the house. So it actually wants to halo the entire top of the house. It wants to come all the way around like this, and it's just creating a bit of a nicer area, to be honest with you. So I mean, well, it kind of boxes things in. I like the look of it, so it'll end up looking something like this. But what we also want to do is we want to then, and this is only on particular areas, so you know what, let's leave that bit. So what are we going to do now? Let's make a bit of the house. So this house is kind of built in a weird way. Let's get cracking. So come to the left hand side of the house, or we can even start at the very back hand side of the house on the right here. By the way, you know, underneath the house here, you can basically just fill in the underneath part with terracotta. This is at the back, and before we do move on to this, so you can make it match the inside. And if you want a basement area, or I mean maybe you want something a bit more open plan, let's destroy that, you can also just create an area that, so like if you wanted like a cellar area for your house, you can very easily just like section off this area by using a few rows of terracotta, and then you could place like an indoor pool or something cool inside of your house. So that is absolutely an option if you do want to just seal off this wall underneath the house with terracotta, and you could have some doors, you could have an underground pool, you could have a garage, you could have like an entertainment area, you can have some awesome stuff underneath the house. FYI, just letting you know. Oh, and also, I'd also change this, I'd change this so that it actually, like, the pillar connects down to the ground. Otherwise, it looks weird. Anyway, just some food for thought. On the back of the house, where we have this empty 3-row gap, we're going to need to complete this. Let me grab some stuff. So, we need the white concrete, we need the birchwood planks. We also need the white glass. We also need wooden trapdoors. That's the most of it. So we want to take this very back middle part of the house, and this is going to be built inside of the pillars. We're going to place a row of white concrete on the left coming all the way up to the top, and white concrete on the right coming all the way up to the top. We're going to place white stained glass pane in between, and we're going to place wooden trapdoors in front of the actual white concrete, and we're going to close them, and this will create, well, that's basically just a window. This is the back part of the house. You see inside of this, and it might actually be easier to do this now. So, where we have this row of pillar quartz block inside of the window area, we want to have another pillar quartz block in this position. So basically, in the position where this block would connect to this block logically, if that makes sense. So, like this, we want to have a pillar quartz block here, and we want to go up on top of said pillar quartz block. We want to go up on top of it by, let me make sure this is right, 4. So that's 1, 2, 3, and 4 like this. And then we want to place some more pillar quartz block rows. So we want to, leaving a gap of 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, we want to have another row of pillar quartz block coming up from the ground in this position. And we would even want to have one more. We want to once again leave a gap of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Coming towards the front of the house, we want yet another row of pillar quartz block. As a matter of fact, it might be better if this last row is actually a row of quartz. So just place a row of quartz instead of the row of pillar quartz block. It's kind of a complicated house to build. But there you go, that's the row that you want. You want that row of 5. Now, this is important because we want to take the pair of pillar quartz rows that we have at the back of the house here. We want to connect them together using quartz slabs as we have around the house, like this. We want to connect them together like we would all the way around the house. And we want to fill in between this pair of quartz slabs with this pattern. We want to place white concrete on the outer parts of the area. We want to place birch wood planks inside, and then we want to create a doorway. So we can use actually our pillar quartz blocks, place pillar quartz blocks at the base of this area, place white stained glass pane on top of the blocks, and place a quartz stairs facing outwards on top of the pane. Connect it together at the center like that, and maybe even flare it a little bit up at the top, and it creates kind of like an interesting sort of interesting doorway. And just fill it in by placing a little bit of glass, just leaving enough room to walk through like this, and also place some wooden trapdoors running up the side of this. And then you have an interesting looking back entrance. It looks cool and it's practical. So this is how you would get onto the porch area at the back of the house. That will come into play later on. On the side of the house here, we have some panels to fill in. So we want to fill in this, this, and this. We want to fill in 3 of these, all in the same way. We want to place white concrete in the outer rows, like this, on the left and right. We want to place birchwood planks coming inwards with glass pane in between, like this. We also want to place wooden trapdoors running all the way up here. So up the white concrete, we want to have that. This is the same for every single one of these rows. Now, for tutorial purposes, I made these all the same. So I made them all the same. Actually, you know what? We might even just fill in 2. We might fill in 2 and we'll move the entrance a little bit back. So we'll just fill in these 2. And for tutorial purposes, I made all of these the same because it's easier to tutorial like very repetitive patterns. But you could easily change some of the window styles and some of the what I call panel styles to better suit your choices. But we want to take, after you filled in 2 of these, we want to connect this left-hand side together with the right-hand side in the same way we did the back door. So we're actually going to place 2 rows of white concrete coming upwards from the ground like this. And we should really have our row of quartz slab here now instead of here like this. And we're just going to do it how we did similarly to the back doors. So we've got the 2 rows here. We've got some wooden trapdoors running all the way up the white concrete like this. And how should we do this? Maybe we'll knock out the trapdoors from the bottom. We'll place birchwood planks at the base. We'll place some white stained glass pane. And maybe we'll place... How does it look with just a quartz slab above it? It looks stupid. So we'll knock out the trapdoors, actually. We'll place quartz stairs. We'll do the same as we did at the back, like this. And we'll just have the 2 wooden trapdoors at the top. We'll connect them together, though. Maybe we'll place like a... No, we'll stick with the glass idea. We'll stick with the glass. And we'll just place 2 pane up above it. And then we have like an interesting looking door. We also want to fill in this particular panel just right of the door now. So this is going to be filled in using white concrete. I'm starting to see why I didn't use glass pane in the first place. Maybe I'll ditch the pane like this. And maybe we'll place like wooden trapdoors in front of the birch. We'll get rid of that there. Maybe we'll place a doorbell like this. So a button. And we'll have an item frame inside of it, and we'll have a flower pot on the left hand side with a flower, with a poppy, and that'll be a much more suitable door. Continuing to fill in this right hand side though, we want to have white concrete on the left and right. We want to have ourselves some birchwood planks in between them, and we want to have some white stained glass pane. And this time we're not going to be able to fill in the white concrete using the wooden trapdoors because of the front door, but that's perfectly fine. And what we can also do on this particular side is we can actually connect these 2 parts of the porch together like this. We can place fence coming across the quartz slabs, and then we can place quartz slabs coming towards the front of the house. And there you can see we've got a pretty interesting looking entranceway now. And yeah, that looks pretty good to me. You can change some of the materials around though if you don't particularly like that. So now let's focus on a little bit more of the rest of the house. So we want to take this row of quartz block that we have here, this row of 5. We want to take the top block and we want to extend it across the right hand side of the house, and we want to do a row of 6. So we want to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Connect it down to the ground like that. We then want to take that block again and we want to go right by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it will connect to the quartz slab, and that'd be 6. And then you want to connect that block down to the ground using block of quartz, block of quartz like this. So you've created now sort of a double door area. What we now want to do is we want to take the row of quartz that you connected down to the ground, right? So you now want to take this row and you want to leaving a gap of 5 in the ground coming back. We want to leave a gap of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. On this 6th block, place a block of quartz. Leave a gap of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. On the 6th block, place a block of quartz, and then connect those blocks of quartz upwards to the row of quartz slab that you have just above you. Like this. We then want to have the same sort of pattern on the back, so you can take that last row of 6 quartz, connect it to the right using quartz blocks like this, and split it up the center using a vertical row of quartz blocks. So split it up the center like this. So you'll see now that we've created a grid area. We want to fill this area in. So we want to take every single one of the panels at the base here, and we want to fill them in the same way. It's now, once again, the white concrete on the inside parts of this, and then inside of the white concrete, we'll place rows of birchwood plank, and then inside the row of birchwood plank, which will connect together at the top, inside the row of birchwood plank, we then want to connect them together using some white stained glass panes. So you'll see that some of the rows are different. You'll notice that we have some slabs on the right hand side of the build. Turn those slabs into solid blocks of quartz like this. So only where the house connects together, turn them together. And now we're just going to place the birchwood planks inwards from the white concrete like this. You guys have seen me do this before. And then we're going to add the actual white stained glass pane, as you might expect. Then we're going to add the trapdoors, and it's just going to look kind of cool once it's been done. So it's very repetitive, but it does look very modern, and it is highly changeable. Like, you can add different windows if you want. These are just ideas for windows. It's very repetitive. You can add in French doors, for instance, onto the porch. You could add in different shaped windows on the side. You can mix things up. Do remember that we need the wooden trapdoors here. You can absolutely mix things up, guys. You don't have to have things the same way as me. It's just that for this tutorial, it's already going to be long enough. Part of this is for inspiration. So even if you take just the shape of this house and some characteristics of this house, if you make it more complicated, you won't be able to place wooden trapdoors all the way around. If you take some aspects of this and you make them more complicated, but you manage to take perhaps the layout, or like maybe if you really liked the garages and maybe you really liked the garden, if you really liked a particular part of the house, then at least this video's served as some sort of inspiration. You don't have to take absolutely everything at face value. You don't have to do exactly as I've done. As a matter of fact, sometimes it's way cooler to see some of you guys that have taken what I've done and kind of just messed it about for yourselves. But as you can see, that's the vast majority of the lower part of the house done. Let's move on to the upper part of the house. So the upper part of the house is split into two parts. We have the left-hand side and the right-hand side, or the middle and the right-hand side, as it is better laid out. So on top of this center part of the house, it's like a big square. We want to take the four corners of the square and we want to add rows of 5 block of quartz on top of the corners. I'll show you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then on top of this corner, 1, 2, 3, 4, and see it connects together at the top like 5. And this corner, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then on this back corner where we actually can't see it again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You want to connect them all together at the top. So you want to connect all of these blocks together at the top like this. You guys can see what I'm talking about like that. And at the back as well, like this. Boom. At the back, you want to split the area in half at the back. You want to split the area in half to the left-hand side. The front does not want to be split in half. We want to do this. So on the front, on top of the row of block of quartz that we have here, going from left to right, we want to do this. We want to place a birchwood plank, white stained glass pane. Birchwood plank, block of quartz. Leave a gap of 3, block of quartz, birchwood plank, glass, birchwood plank, like that. So that's what we want to have. Take every material and extend it coming up towards the roof. So the roof isn't going to be too far behind here, but we want to take every single one of these blocks and we want to move them upwards like this. And that includes the glass, like so. Boom. We want to place a layer of white stained glass pane inside of the actual block of quartz. So like this, creating kind of like a door shape, like that. We want to take the block of quartz that we connected to the top. We want to place block of quartz on top of these blocks. White stained glass in between. White stained glass on top of the center block. Block of quartz left and right. And a block of quartz on top. So we want to have something which should look very much like this. We then want to take the very left hand side, the very corner of the sort of square area, the cube that we have, this block, and we want to do 6 upper right diagonals from this block. So that'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We then want to do bottom right diagonals until we connect all the way down to the opposite side, like this. The same is done on the back. So if we come to the back here, we want to do a very similar thing on the back. So basically just copy the diagonal quartz blocks that I placed on the front. That's basically as far as you want to copy. And then we want to extend it downwards like this. And we can even fill in the top of the house. So here we want to connect that and that. We also want to create the same sort of shape that we do on the front. So like we want to create the like pyramid shape inside as you did the front. And you want to fill the center of that in with glass, of course. And we're just going to fill around that in using birchwood planks like this. So just fill around that in using birchwood planks like that. Perfect. And on the back here, we actually want to take, so you see the windows that we have below, we want to take that same pattern and we want to shuffle it up by one row. So we want to take every single block that we have down below us, so all of the birch wood, all of the white concrete, etc., etc. We want to shuffle that up one row and we want to apply the same method to fill it in as we did just below us. And we're just going to place some wooden trapdoors, come in up the white concrete like this. Gonna close all of those like that, and like this on the right hand side. Wonderful, that's looking quite good. And you know what? Here's the thing. You see the pattern that we've just done, right? That wants to be done going all the way around the top of this rectangular shaped area. Let me show you. So it wants to start on this side and it wants to go all the way around. So I'm going to be doing the same method of filling in each of the particular panels, each of the particular parts of the house. I'm going to be filling all of them in the same way, except one of the panels, in the same way that we just did the rest of the second story of the house. The only different one is going to be this one on the inside here, because actually, you know what? We're going to fill it in the same way because there's no reason that we shouldn't, actually, thinking about it. So it's going to be filled in the same way as we did all of those other rows. So it's going to take a while. You guys know that. It's going to take a while to get this done. So get cracking. We've got to fill these all in the same way that we just filled in the two previous windows. It's very simple. It's the white concrete on the inside with the birchwood planks on the inside of that, with glass on the inside of that, and then wooden trapdoors on the actual white concrete, and that will be that. Like I said, if you want to vary up some of these particular points of the house, if you want to change some parts of this house, then feel free, but it's up to you. And also just place wooden trapdoors where you can, or you could forego them altogether. You don't have to have them on each individual part of the house if you don't want. What do we have to do? Oh, we have to add glass everywhere before we do all of the wooden trapdoors. So, all the way around, like this. I don't know what better way to say it, probably because there isn't one. Just keep repeating yourself all the way around, just like I'm repeating myself, actually, funnily enough. And just go all the way around like that, and then on the inside here, and then we can start with the wooden trapdoors. Now, once we've done this, we're going to add in some balconies, because there's some balconies around the house. And once the balconies have been added in, we're going to, that's one door extra. Once we've added all of the balconies in, we can add the roof. And once the roof's been added, we can start adding some of the final bits of detail to this particular part of the house. We can, well, to the house in general, we can just finish adding in all of the bits of detail. And we'll have to combine two roofs together, which is never my funnest thing to do. But it'll all look great once we've finished. I actually prefer like placing trapdoors and then closing them like in one go. Like that, there we go. I don't know why. Placing wooden trapdoors and closing them, not my favourite job. Not my favourite job. Probably not anyone's. Although there's some guy out there that's probably like, but I love the sound. And they do make kind of like a cool sound when you flip them up. I don't know. Oh, did I place it? No, I placed it just right. Perfect. Boop, boop, pew. There we go. So that is the majority of the second floor done. We also have to fill in the above bit here on the front of the house. This has to be filled in using some birchwood planks like this. Like that. Perfect. Whoa, perfect. We also have to create the frame for the roof on the right hand side. It's very simple. So the long rectangular shape that we have on the right hand side of the house, we want to basically place diagonals of quartz connecting to the center from the sides like this. So from any given side, place 3 diagonals and then connect it downwards and fill the under part of it in using white stained glass paint. There you will have what you're looking for. On the back, same thing. We want to have, it might be even easier to place the glass pane first. Probably not. And then the block of quartz. So yeah, it's no easier to do that actually. But yeah, we want to have the frame for the roof like that. Very easy. And we have some balconies to add. So there are 2 balconies. Oh, and another part of the house to fill in as well. But it's okay. We can do that in a sec. We have 2 balconies. There's one on the side, the left-hand side of the house, which comes out from a French door and leads you onto this area. So this area that I'm filling in now, this very small rectangular patch of birch wood, we're going to place birch fence going all the way around the top of this area like this. And it's going to come back inwards like this. This is a small balcony, so we can basically create the entrance that we have there. We can just place like maybe some birchwood planks on the insides of these, and then maybe some white stained glass pane coming all the way up the center. Maybe connect it together at the top, and then maybe we can even place some quartz slab coming across that with maybe like a wooden trap, yeah, and then maybe just like wooden trapdoors coming all the way down. If you want, you can place something maybe a bit fancier at the bottom. Maybe you can place some plants or something, but that's a pretty decent door. The area to the right of it has to be filled in as standard. So basically, you know how you filled in every other area. I just forgot about this because you got to do it so many times, you lose track of where you have and haven't done it. But same thing as we've done all the way around everywhere else, just like that. Might even add the wooden trapdoors down bottom here as well, like so. Perfect. And I might connect I'm going to connect that together at the top using quartz block. So there we go, we have that. We also have a balcony area here at the front. I'm going to connect the front left-hand corner of the cube part of the house. I'm going to place quartz slabs here. And then I'm going to fill the center of this in using birch wood planks. This will create the sort of like little depthy sort of thing that we see on the outside. So like you'll be able to see the birch wood plank underneath the quartz slab. So it will look quite nice like that. I'm going to place birchwood fence going all the way around this particular area like so. And that'll be that. So those are the 2 balcony areas. And now, the next thing that we're going to do, we will be brightening things up a little bit later. We're just going to add the roof. Roof's very simple. It's quartz stairs, quartz slab, and stone brick stairs. Let's start with the big part of the roof on the left-hand side. So, side of the roof is quartz stairs. It starts on the left-hand side. It overhangs 1 block out of the back and out of the front. The middle part of the roof is stone brick stairs coming all the way up to the top. The very top of the roof is quartz slab, like that. The part of the roof that overhangs the house is quartz stairs, like this. So the part of the roof that overhangs the house is quartz stairs. So stone brick stairs running all the way up the side with quartz stairs on the actual side of it. Stone brick stairs in the center. You guys know how roofs work. And then you've got to build up all of the center part of the roof in, I think, just about every single one of my suburban houses. And I've made a lot of suburban houses now, guys. I mean, I've made a lot. Quite a few. I pretty much exclusively use this combination. It seems the most realistic. It looks great. Grey and white go well together so well that the only real contender is pure quartz, I think, when it comes to suburban houses. And underneath, by the way, underneath the overhang layer of quartz stairs, upside down quartz stairs, like that. Except when you reach the top, it wants to face towards you. So, adds a bit of detail. Onto the opposite side of the roof, we're going to do a similar thing, except we're only going to fill in the part of the roof that we actually can. So we're only going to come down here, and then maybe we'll place... What might work is if we place a row of stone bricks here. So where the roofs will connect together, we're going to place a row of stone bricks on the very right-hand side of the roof. And we'll go about the rest of the roof as we did the opposite side. We'll talk about the smaller roof, because this is the... Yeah, this is bigger, I think. I mean, it's definitely taller. It's not as long, though. It doesn't matter. We're connecting both parts of the roof together. So, quartz stairs coming off the back. We don't want to involve ourselves with the stone brick stairs. We want to have the upside down quartz stairs, of course, hanging underneath the overhang of quartz stairs like this. We're going to head to the front again, and we're going to make it so that all of these blocks overhang like this. You can see what I'm talking about. So have the quartz stairs overhang like this, and then upside down quartz stairs here, and then down at the bottom here. But we have to do the small roof. It's the same thing. It's the quartz stairs on the outside like this. It's stone brick stairs coming up the top. It's quartz slab on top. Stone brick stairs coming down the opposite side. Quartz stairs coming all the way down this time. So this is a long part of the roof. So I don't know whether this will actually take longer. Probably not actually. So it's the same as the opposite roof, except it's just a bit shorter. It is pretty much everything. I'm sure that you guys will see how this connects together. It's not really difficult, and we'll start with the inside of the roof as well, because what am I doing? No, there we go. And we're just going to connect the stone bricks to the stone, maybe one block, there we go. We're going to connect the stone brick stairs to the stone bricks like that. That looks fine to me. And we need the overhang like this, even the slab. Come down the opposite side here. Boom, boom, boom. We want the upside down blocks underneath these stairs like this. And we also want to, we want to place quartz stairs, stone brick stairs coming backwards, connecting both parts of the roof together. So we want to connect the front part of the roof together to the back part of the roof, obviously, using the stone brick stairs. And after we've done this, oh wow guys, most of the house is done. It's such a long house. It really is quite a long house. It's a weird design. It's an interesting design. I'd be kind of interested in doing a smaller suburban style house that has more detail. I think that could be a cool idea. I'd love to have a house that has perhaps just a tad more detail than this one. This house is awesome. I love the layout, especially. It's one of my favorite things about this house. But there could be more detail added to the house. It's just that eventually, you know, you're making such a long tutorial. But there we go. That's wonderful. You know what? We're missing something. Do you know what we don't have? Inside the house, we don't actually have a floor. So we also have to fill in the floor here. The floor, you guys all know where to put this. It's in line. It's basically like where the quartz slabs are. We want to have a birchwood floor. This is cool because you'll be able to see it on the front of the house. Like, you'll be able to see the birchwood floor hanging just underneath the quartz slabs. It looks cool. I really like the effect. I'm not going to do the floor for the inside part because that's not necessary, but for this part on the right hand side, absolutely. You can lay this house out in so many different ways. I'm not going to put the floor here. I'll let you guys figure out where that's going to go, but that is the majority of the house done. There's some details that we can add to the house which will make it look a little bit nicer. So around the house, I would absolutely suggest grabbing some vines, jungle leaves, cauldrons, signs, grass blocks, poppies. I'd recommend some flower pots, some wooden trapdoors, and what else will we need? Nah, that'll be fine for now. Some vines on the side of the house, especially the front, look kind of cool. Like the corner looks kind of cool with a little bit of vinage going around. Oh, maybe some torches as well. It'd look nice. I'd definitely place torches on the inside here. So like I'd place torches on the inside of the pillars to keep things bright. Otherwise, I mean, it's still dark as well. So you might even want to like place some torches here just to keep things bright, because it really is quite dark otherwise. But it's up to you. You guys will fix a lighting problem if you see one. I like to add potted plants and stuff everywhere. I really like the combination of a cauldron with jungle leaves on top. I like it. I like placing them next to doors especially, and maybe even here too. I like cauldrons and like flower pots and stuff spread around the house. Maybe even this area too, so like where you have the entrance coming out here, poppies. I kind of like it. If you want just like a random potted plant in the corner, then maybe place a random potted plant in the corner. Downstairs, I mean out on the porch, I'm going to place some more of these too. I'm going to place more cauldrons with more jungle leaves inside. I really like how it looks. I'm going to do it up the right hand side as well. If you want a break from that particular design, once again, flower pots look great. I really like flower pots just kind of spread around the place. I also want to place a bit of a flower bed in the corner here. I don't want it to connect though to the porch, so maybe just a little bit of green here, and maybe place some wooden trapdoors around the area like this. You now have a nice little flower bed up here. You could even knock out the center block because you're not going to be able to place wooden trapdoors here anyway. And maybe you could have like a birchwood fence with like a light on it or something instead. Maybe that kind of like, I mean, it keeps it nice and bright. You see, it really does make a difference when you kind of add little things like this. It does look a lot nicer and brighter. And especially once some of the vines have grown and stuff, it will look a little bit better. So maybe a little bit of vinage here perhaps. I really like torches as a decoration in general. I like torches, item frames, and then like a light grey concrete block. If you place them in like places where you know you're going to be walking, place a torch, item frames behind the torch, and then light grey concrete in the item frames. It's kind of a cool combo. I don't like using them absolutely everywhere, but I do kind of like how that looks. Down below here, we obviously have this kind of like a grand walkway, like where we walk up to the house. Cauldrons with jungle leaves in them, once again, make great decoration. You can place signs around them. If you have your own design ideas, these are just basic. I don't want to be throwing loads and loads and loads of different ones out in one video. You can absolutely just have a nice little walkway up here. You can even customize the walkway by placing some like block of quartz, and you can kind of like place some block of quartz coming outwards like this, like that. Create a nice little bit of a path like so. And then you can use like birchwood fence here, maybe in front of the cauldron. Maybe extend them out one more row, just so that you can have a bit more fence like this. Looks quite nice. In front of the garages, I'd highly recommend actually digging out the area and placing some light grey concrete, because then it'll actually look as though it's like a drive in front of the garage. If you want to place a car here, just make up a car. You guys will manage to do it, trust me. Anything with 4 wheels, and you'll be fine. Maybe I'll do like a very simple car tutorial or something. I already have a car tutorial, but it's kind of like an American muscle car looking thing. Mine's kind of like a more British, smaller looking car, I guess. It's kind of cute. I actually used the same design in a Peppa Pig house of all places, and I kind of fell in love with the design because it's about as simple as you can get, but there's something about the car that I just absolutely love the design. I don't know, sometimes you fall in love with these little things. But if you do have a little bit of driveway or a couple of drives, place some birchwood fence, place some rows of grass block, place some flowers and some wooden trapdoors around the grass blocks, and you'll have some flower beds that will kind of separate the drives. It'll look a little bit nicer. And why wouldn't you do that? It just looks kind of nice. And once again, if you want to make a couple of cars and drop them in, then it'd look awesome if you did that. So you can see the front of the house is really brightening up a bit. One of the last aspects of the house to talk about is this under porch garden. So if you create an area that you want to garden and it can expand in front of the house to the side of the house, you can make it bigger than it actually is. It'd be cool if it did actually come out the side of the house. You could have a couple of different ways to access the house. So if you dug like a path, like here, it could be actually like a normal path. It could just be like a straight path from one end of the garden. So straight up the middle, one end of the garden coming all the way up to the opposite end. And what I think is cool, come all the way up here, is to place like some random stone bricks, not stone brick stairs, just random stone bricks inside of this empty path like this. And then like a mixture of cobblestone and cobblestone slabs. So you kind of got like that broken path effect, but I don't know, it looks cool at the same time. So if you just have that coming all the way back, like this, and if you want to connect upwards, then you could create a very simple walkway coming down, or I mean, where do we want to place it? Where do we want to place this walkway? So maybe right in the corner where it's not going to bother anybody, we want to use maybe the quartz stairs, maybe the birch stairs, maybe even the stone brick stairs to create a bit of a walkway that comes down here to the under part of the garden. And you could absolutely have a garden that was underneath the house or on the outer part of the house. It's so much your choice. You can do so many different things with it. But I like the idea of having a bit of a garden on the house in different ways. You see, now you can access the back door, which is really cool. But I mean, that's most of my design decoration and tips for the house. The inside is obviously it's so big, it's so malleable. You can do so many different things with it. I will leave you guys to do with the inside what you want. I might even mess about with the idea of doing the inside and see if you guys like it. I don't know though. That is the tutorial for the house though. That is the entire outside of the house covered, I think. I don't think I've missed something. I'm sorry if I have. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this. If you did, please do remember to hit that like button. I'd really appreciate it. I love this house. I loved making the house. I love designing it. So much fun. I love suburban houses, especially when they're a little bit weird. I'm sorry this tutorial is so long. Subscribe to the channel if you do enjoy this sort of stuff. If you have liked the video, please do subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. Click the little bell. If you want to see more stuff like this, comment down below. Let me know what you want to see. I've been making a lot of modern houses recently, so I thought I'd throw suburban in here just because I like them. And sometimes you guys ask for suburban houses. On top of all of that, if you do want to check out more of my stuff, the card system description below is a great place to go. I don't just make suburban houses, I make all sorts of houses, as you can see, giving you a bit of a spin around me. Check it out, card system description below. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Have a great day, and I'll see you guys in the next video.